Hey everybody, I hope your week's going well. To start off with, I was gonna start off with the main points from this reading that I kind of stood out to me. At least for me, what really stood out was like how the birders found like they were had a more goal oriented activity, which led them to wanting to visit the park more, or like that place more. And then because of that, they had a good experience with that. They saw the birds they wanted to see or whatever. They kept coming back, and then there was the correlation with the place attachment theory, like based on visitation, and like how visiting more will improve the like your place attachment with something. And I think that really stood out to me because at least in my brain, how I correlate it then, like even with like the bird watching activity being more goal oriented, obviously like parks and outdoor rec places still get used for other things besides bird watching, and everybody has a reason for visiting a park, even if it's to go like on a simple hike. So then to me, like how that discussion kind of like of what the birders and non-birders is both inherently like activity happens, good experience with it, and then ideally like revisitation and and then placement attachment, and then or it's visit bad experience with the or activity bad experience with activity and then probably don't come back. So I think realistically for me, it's more about then like the surveying and studying I would want to do then is like what activities are being like highly done at my park, and then doing those surveys kind of like what they did with the birders to see like where they lie and where the benefits are coming from, and like then we can like improve upon those activities that a lot of people are doing, or if there's an activity we want more people doing, then promoting that more or trying to improve that so that if it does improve and we get someone new, then they'll want to stay because it was good, rather as to before it could have been like a bad program and then that, or like a bad experience, and like that's why people didn't like come back and like develop that place attachment. So then being able to like improve the activity in some way. So then like I think for birding it's very simple. It's just like like ensure that we're keeping the ecosystem intact and providing like habitable places for birds to keep that good. And then that also I would assume like also like improves hiking and stuff, but like hikers are also looking for really good trails and like trail maintenance. So it would be interesting to then do like a study to kind of see that. And I think that's what I think really stood out to me, was just the fact that like it was, everything was based off of the initial experience. And without that initial experience, like you don't get any, like they don't know about your place to begin with, but it's that like first experience that really determines if people keep coming back. And I would also say that's kind of like my most impactful realization as well. From at least a professional perspective, I think it would make again, like a lot of sense to really, be studying like activities that we want to do better, or activities that are already doing well, and like comparing to each other, and like, okay, so if we're able to like break it down into like these things make the activity enjoyable, and like that's why people like doing that activity, and this isn't what makes it enjoyable, then we can compare those two and then see how we can make the bad one better. I think at least like my question for all of you for this week would be I guess like in the outdoor experience, like for example, like birding or any other activity that you could think of, how would you go about either promoting one that's not performing well, or improving one that is doing well, and like what kind of research would you like kind of go into for that, and like how would you look into that? But yeah, hope you all have a great week.